Hello and welcome to the Potty Mouth Preacher, healing women's minds, bodies, and souls one trigger at a time. I am Lisa Czak, your host. Please subscribe, like, rate, review, comment, and I will get back to you. I appreciate that. On today's episode, we are talking about those things that you think you can never heal from, right? Those things that you've been carrying around inside of you, and you're like, I'm just never going to be able to heal from that. I'm just never going to be able to do it. There's just no way. We're going to talk about that and how you can actually heal from these things. Even if you're not in a session with me, that's what we're going to talk about. Stay tuned. As always, I'm going to help you shift gears. On this episode, I want to introduce, I've done this before. I don't know if you've noticed or not. Sometimes I do a little bit longer shifting gears. And this is something that you can do just in the morning or the evening, just to center yourself, right? It doesn't even take that much time. So that's what I'm going to do today. It's going to take a little bit longer. So get comfortable. You can lie down, you can sit down. It's only going to take 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so go ahead and give me a deep cleansing breath in. Exhale out. And 2 more times. Exhale out. 1 more time. And just notice the temperature of the room on your skin. Notice any noises you might hear either inside or out or on my end. You might hear footsteps above me. You might hear the dogs making a ruckus. You might hear my daughter getting ready to go out. And notice any smells in the room. Notice how your body feels on the surface you're sitting on. And just notice your breath. Not trying to make your breath be any certain way, not judging it, just simply noticing it. And then just do a body scan, starting with the toes all the way up to the crown of the head. Just simply noticing if you have any areas of tension, tightness, warmth, tingly, right? The jaw, your shoulders, are they in your ears? Relax those shoulders. Are your hands and fists? Relax your hands. Notice your belly. Is it rumbling? Is it growling? Like what's happening in there? Notice the creaking of stairs on my end. And now I want you to name 3 things that you're grateful for, making sure one of those things has not happened yet. But you have full confidence that if it is in your best interest, it will happen. And taking a deep breath in, allowing that love and gratitude to just flow through your body into every cell, so you carry it with you after you leave here. And now I would like you to set your intention for how you want to feel during this episode, after this episode, knowing what you have ahead of you the rest of the day, the rest of the evening. Remembering that you always have a choice in how you feel. Nobody else could control that except for you. So you're not brushing things under the rug. You're saying, okay, I feel really annoyed right now. I feel really aggravated right now. And yet I'm still choosing to be peaceful. You see how it's not but, it's and. You're acknowledging how you feel and then choosing how you actually are going to feel. So you don't sit in that anymore. And just allow that intention to just flow through your body, seep into every cell of your body, so you carry that intention with you the remainder of your day. And now in your mind, I want you to say your I am statement. Go back to the beginning episodes 1 and 2 if you need a review. But it's that that powerful North Star, right? Not waiting, wanting, and pining away. I'll be happy when, but being this I am right here, right now. So maybe your I is I am in control. I am joyful. I am choosing peace. And it's the energy that you put behind the I am that's super important. Right? It's not the words. We can say words all day long, but it is the energy behind those words. And see yourself going about your day being this I am. What are people saying to you? How does it feel to be this I am? What is your self-talk? When you put your head on the pillow at night, what are you saying to yourself? And on your next inhale, just simply inhaling all the love and gratitude and your intention and this powerful I am statement, and just feel it flowing freely through your body. No more blockages. And now just notice your breath again. Are you breathing different than when you first started this? Do a body scan again. Does your body feel different? Have you released some tension? No judging it, just accepting it, just noticing, just being aware. And notice the temperature of the room on your skin. Notice any noises you hear inside or out. Again, maybe on my end. You might hear some creaking stairs on my end. Wood floors are great, but not when you're recording a podcast episode. Notice any smells in the room, just coming back to the room that you're in, noticing how your body feels on the surface that you're sitting or laying down on. And then slowly open up your eyes. Hello, and welcome back to the Potty Mouth Preacher. So now we're moving on to celebrations. And my celebration, I'm going to read to you. One of the benefits you get when you do one-on-one sessions with me is you get to text me 24/7 in Voxer. I don't always answer 24/7 because I have boundaries. But that's one of the things you do, because I know in the traditional therapy world, there's a lot that happens in between sessions and you tend to not move as quickly, right? Whereas if you could get guidance in the moment as it's happening, or, not wait a week, you can progress so much further, which is why I see my clients get results, right? Coaching is all about results. Therapy is like, let's talk it to death. Coaching is actually about results. So I'm going to read to you the woman that I'm having on in the next episode is one of my badass clients, and you're going to get to meet her, Cheryl. She's the one that's always saying, there's no way I can heal this. There's no way I can heal this. And then we heal it. And she's always saying it's a miracle. So I'm going to read to you something that she wrote to me in Voxer. And it was her celebration. Okay, so this is Cheryl's celebration that she's writing to me. So celebrations. She's talking about me. I celebrate that you are in my life and how positive I've become thanks to our work together. Thanks to you, I'm all set up for good. Oh, praise and thank God for you. I know, right? Wait till you see the episode. In the episode, she gets me all choked up because she's always talking about how I'm a conduit and this miracle worker, how God's always in our sessions. Anyways, it's really powerful. So I want you to stay tuned for that. Now, let's get into the real talk. All right, so today we are talking about very specific. This is what I want to tell you. Okay, all my clients know this. Why you should welcome triggers. Now, normally I say don't should on yourself. This is a situation that we're going to use the word should, right? Why you should welcome triggers. Why triggers are gifts, and how welcoming triggers actually lead to healing your mind, body, and soul. That's the secret. I know there's a book that was written, right? This is a different kind of secret. It's not really a secret, though. I say welcome triggers. Triggers are gifts, not wrapped up in pretty packages with a giant bow on top kind of gifts, but gifts because they're clues to where you still need healing. And I teach a very specific healing technique that I tell my clients, because you now have this very powerful tool, this very powerful healing tool that you can use in the moment, and you can heal quickly within minutes, right? It's not therapy. It's not hours and hours of therapy. You can heal in the moment very quickly. And this is the miracle part. You don't even have to believe that you can heal. You don't even have to believe that it's going to work. And you're going to see that in the episode with Cheryl. Because even though she's been with me a year now, every single session, this woman's like, there's no way we can heal this. There's just no way, Lisa. And then it heals, and she's like, oh my gosh, right? And we heal in the session, within the session, right? It's not, like I said, it's not talk therapy. We're not talking it to death. So we're feeling, because that's how you heal. You heal by feeling. So the reason I say to welcome triggers, right? My actual words that I use are bring it on, bitches. I'm ready. I'm ready for those emotional landmines that I know are going to show up everywhere. Because if you remember April, if you didn't watch the healing abuse episodes, part 1 and part 2, in part 2, I actually healed her from a trigger she had for like 20 years that she's never healed from. And now she doesn't feel it at all in her body. It's miraculous. Go back and watch that episode if you have not yet. It really is. I mean, I've healed people that had triggers since like birth, basically, right? Cheryl's one of those, actually. So anyway, my point is, if you have this attitude, right? So we go through that healing session, like the one I did with April, right? It was like a 20-year trigger, and we healed it. And then I had her back. So make sure you watch to the end of that episode, because I have her back a month later to see how is she doing. And because I don't know, like I heal you, I help you heal whatever it is you need healing from in the session. And then I don't know, we test it, right, to see what happens when you think about that same person, event, experience, whatever it was, right? To see if you still feel it in your body anywhere, if you still need further healing. But that's in a safe little bubble. So when you get out of the safe little bubble, I want to know what happens, when you're in your life. And that's why I say welcome triggers, because not only are they show you where you still need healing, they also give you a chance to practice all I'm teaching you, because you need time to practice, because you've been doing life, however many years you're old, right? I don't know, 60 years, whatever it is. And you've been with me like one session, right? So you need time. Your brain is not automatically going to go to, where do I feel that in my body? Unless you've done this work a lot. So I say that because you can't possibly fail at this, right? Because a lot of women beat themselves up. Oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Oh, I should have done that. I didn't do that, right? Why didn't I remember to do what you taught me? Well, because your brain's not familiar with it. You have to rewire your brain to a new familiar. So you need lots of chances to practice. And how are you going to practice healing? By getting triggered, by saying, bring it on, bitches. I'm ready. I'm no longer afraid. Because that's a lot of times what happens, right? I see this in women who have panic attacks. They're so scared they're going to have another panic attack, which actually contributes to having another panic attack. Instead of saying, okay, bring it on. I'm ready for a panic attack. I'm not afraid of having a panic attack anymore, because I know. So there was this woman at the gym class that I go to, and in the middle of the class, I looked over at her and I knew immediately she was having a panic attack, right? She's saying, I'm dying, I'm dying. I'm having a heart attack. Everyone else is wanting to call 911. And I'm like, get the fuck out of the way. This woman is having a panic attack. You're making it worse, right? If you're having a panic attack and people are around you going, call 911, she's having a heart attack, you're going to panic more. It's going to create a bigger visceral reaction in your body. So I went up to her, and I didn't know her at all. I don't know her at all. And I said, would you like a healing? And she's like, yes, yes. So I did a healing on her, and I did something that you don't usually hear about with panic attacks, right? I did something that's counterintuitive that none of those people who haven't been trained in what I've been trained in would probably do this, right? I said, she said, kept saying, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying. I'm like, okay, you're dying. How do you know you're dying? How do you know you're dying? Because I know I'm having a heart attack. Okay, how do you know you're having a heart attack? Because I feel it. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. What do you feel? And then I have her describe the physical sensation. I actually had her fully experience this panic attack to get rid of the panic attack. It sounds crazy, right? It sounds like, no, distract her and take her to the hospital and do an EKG on her and all this stuff. And the panic attack, I told her, "No, just keep telling me, how does it feel?" I was like, "Just allow yourself to feel it, send it love." Watch the episode with April, the healing abuse episode, part 2, to understand what I'm talking about with this healing technique that I do. So, anyway, she was shocked because the panic attack went away very quickly within minutes, and she was crying, and she said, "How did you do that? I've been to psychiatrists, therapists, counselors. I've been on all kinds of medication, and nothing has ever helped these panic attacks. Nothing has ever, made them go away." And I said, "It's because you were focused on them going away instead of just allowing yourself to feel it. You resisted it. And what we resist persists, right?" So that is how she got past that. And so then I told her, from this point on, you can actually say, okay, I don't care, like, not be afraid of having panic attacks because you know what to do now, right? Once we know what to do and we can practice it and we welcome it, right? Like my client Cheryl, that you're going to see in the next episode, she is a very accomplished piano player and she teaches piano. And I said to her, well, when you get a student that first starts, do you tell your student, you know, okay, here's the song, you give them something, Bach, something like really complicated, and then you tell them, but you don't need to practice or anything, right? You don't need to practice. You'll just know. You'll just know how to play it. No, that student has to go and practice and make mistakes and practice over and over and over again until they get it right, right? And then it seems like, oh, wow, this was not a big deal at all. I can't believe I was ever afraid to play this song. It's the same thing with healing and triggers. So the key to healing the things that you think you cannot heal from, like a 10-year abusive marriage that April had, right, in the previous episode, like so many of my clients have, right? I have a client that was groomed by her father's best friend when she was 15 years old. That was like her first sexual experience. I myself was groomed by a sexual predator, sexually exploited. How did I heal from that, right? My mom died. How do you heal from that? Especially when you're super close, like I was with my mom. This is how you do it. Watch the episode, the previous episode, and the episode coming up with Cheryl. And I teach you the technique. And you practice it over and over and over again. It's not usually a one and done. Sometimes it is, though, right? Like April in that episode, we did the healing. She went, it was a very intense feeling in her body about a trigger from her abusive marriage, and it got down to a 0, and a month later still a 0. Now I don't know, it might stay a 0, it might go up, I don't know, but the point is she now has the tools to practice. So it's all these, it might be like really deep things like the ones I just described, like healing from abuse, sexual exploitation, healing from grooming, healing from panic attacks. It's these things that you think that there's no way I can heal from. It's like embedded in you. It's like woven. It's like part of your soul, right? It's become, you've identified as like, this is who I am. I have panic attacks. This is who I am. I'm a victim of abuse. This is who I am, fill in the blank, right? And we just say, well, there's just no way I can heal from this. This is how you do it. You do it by, first of all, noticing when you're triggered. When I say triggered, I don't know what other people mean, but when I say trigger, I mean, where do you feel it in your body, right? What's coming up when you think about that situation, person, event? Where do you feel it in your body? And then saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to allow myself to really feel this, and practicing the healing techniques that I teach you over and over and over again. But it starts with a trigger. It starts with welcoming triggers, not being afraid of the panic attack, not being afraid that when you bump your head, you're going to remember how your ex abusive husband knocked you unconscious several times, like happened to April in the previous episode, right? You're going to welcome those chances, those triggers, those emotional landmines, because they're clues to where you need healing. And then you're going to practice that healing technique of finding it in your body, allowing yourself to really feel it, send it love, not hate, not go away, but sending it love and acceptance and telling it, stay as long as you want. I have all the time in the world to heal this, which is true. You literally have the rest of your life to heal whatever it is you need to heal, but you're not going to need to do that, is my point. That's why I can't stress enough. My Worthy Woman Healing Group that we meet twice a month is crucial for this. You'll be surrounded by other women who also are like a dog with a bone. They just can't seem to get past this one trigger or this wound or this one thing that keeps coming up. If only this, or why does this keep happening to me? Right? If that's you, drop in comments. Do you find yourself saying that? Why does this keep happening to me? And the great part about this is you can do it in the moment, right? You can do it like I'm healing myself right now. Steve cut it out, but you don't know this, but my husband just came home. The dog started barking. I can hear everything with the wood floors above me, right? I need to get to my own training session. I'm under the gun. Time pressure wise, a lot of stuff is happening right here in the moment as I'm recording. And I feel it here and I feel it in my stomach. So I have my hand on my stomach and I'm literally healing myself right here, right now, as I'm recording a podcast episode. And that's what you will eventually get to. That's what all my clients get to. Now, before I was interrupted, I think I was talking about the twice a month healing group. It's very powerful to be in a group with like-minded women who are also on a healing journey, who are also just reeling in their head about something, right? Who also just want to let go. It's like, if only I could do this, if only this, if only that. It's so powerful. And they have some really deep things that we're healing from in that group. And the best part about it is we're going on a retreat. We're going to heal together in this group leading all the way up to this retreat. And then we're all going to go to the Caribbean in the 2024. We're going to celebrate in our healed state. And don't worry, we're going to be doing a lot of healing in the Caribbean too, because I'm going to have you in that bubble, right? That safe bubble where there's no distractions. There's no husband coming home, having the dogs start barking and going crazy. There's no footsteps above me interrupting me, right? There's no email that I have to answer. There's no work to go to. There's no laundry. There's no washing dishes. There's no figuring out what's for dinner. No, we're going to have a chef cooking for us. We're going to have housekeeping services. Our only job on that retreat is to continue on our healing journey and learn to really focus on ourselves. Focus inward in a safe little bubble. But it's going to be super powerful because we're going to have healed so many things along the way. Like right now, I have one woman in there working on boundaries. Boundaries are a big thing for her, right? I have another woman working on, she keeps contradicting herself and she doesn't understand why she's doing it. I have another woman in there who is a survivor of narcissistic ex-husband who's turned her own kids against her, right? I have another woman suffering from, again, sexual exploitation when she was young and dealing with having all this shame about it, blaming herself for that sexual exploitation. And So they're healing all of these things, and we're peeling back all the layers, and we're doing it together in a group, which is so powerful because then you don't feel alone. A lot of the stuff with healing, especially healing from abuse, sexual exploitation, narcissistic abuse, emotional abuse, all of those things, is we sit in this place of shame and silence, and we think others are going to judge us. We think that, oh my gosh, I don't want to tell anyone. Like I did that for a long time. The book that I wrote back there, Portal Tears, right? You see this like chubby girl and then a girl in a pretty dress. That story, it was really easy for me to own the weight loss part of that story, but interwoven in that story is really a story about how I got into the best shape of my life, and then I was groomed and sexually exploited by a sexual predator, an executive producer of true crime shows, who was supposed to be a women's advocate. I'd known him my whole life. He knew my whole family. And I sat in a place of shame and silence. And now that I'm actually owning that part of my story and speaking out about it and meeting other women, it's much more power, it's much more healing, right? Because we're only as sick as our secrets. So click the link below if you'd like to join Worthy Woman Healing. Join by not August. What is it? Join by October 1st. And when you sign up for the retreat, you get Worthy Woman Healing for free twice a month leading up to the retreat. If you just want to join the group, you can do that too. But there's a link down there. Filled out that form. I'm very particular about who I want in that group. I have to be very protective and keep it a very safe bubble for everyone in there. So your soul work is going to be I want you to welcome triggers, right? Not be afraid of triggers anymore. Say, okay, if you're prone to panic attacks, all right, bring it on, bitches. I'm ready for a panic attack. And whatever that trigger is for you, welcome it as a chance to practice healing. Practice where you feel it in your body and allow yourself to really experience it. Because the only way to heal it is to feel it. And remember, you are worth it.